Hey guys, welcome to Boston. Today we are going out of South Station, one of the main train stations here in Boston, and we are getting on an Amtrak train to Chicago. We'll be doing a couple days in Chicago, then continuing on to San Francisco, all by train. So it's going to be a great journey, and we're really excited to be doing that. I've been eyeing this kind of trip for a couple years now, and it's going to give us a chance to see parts of the country that most people never get to see. Alright, so right now we're sitting in the Metropolitan Lounge for Amtrak here at South Station in Boston. As a benefit of being in a sleeper car for one of the trains, you get automatic access to the Metropolitan Lounge. Right now, of course, the offerings are a little toned down due to COVID, and they ask that you not arrive more than like 60 minutes before your train. But it's a nice place to sit down, relax, rather than sitting out in the main concourse of the train station. And that kind of goes for, I think, most of the Amtrak stations in the US right now. But it's nice to be in a chair. But yeah, especially this morning, it was a little hectic. Traffic was pretty terrible getting into Boston. And then we also had to stop by Best Buy and pick up a new microphone for the camera, because I believe the other microphone got damaged on our last trip. So and didn't realize that until about 10 p.m. last night. So of course we had to figure something out. So we've got about 45 minutes until our train leaves, and I'm sure they'll call for us, and we'll just walk down and hop on the train. This is the originating station, so we'll be going Boston to Framingham to Worcester to Albany, and then making our way out to Chicago. This will be a 22-hour trip, I believe. We'll be getting into Chicago about 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, and spending the weekend there. So this is certainly not a quick way of travel, so to speak, but it is a way of experiencing travel differently, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's a great way to see the country. Like I said, a lot of the places that these trains pass through are places you wouldn't see otherwise, so really looking forward to it. Alright guys, so we just boarded our train here in Boston. This is train 449, the Lakeshore Limited, to Chicago. And we are in a Viewliner roomette. So I'll kind of show you a little bit here. This is where we'll be seated. Middle, you've got a table, kind of folds out on both sides. Over here, this is an older feature. The newer trains don't necessarily have this in the rooms, but we've got a folding sink to wash your hands. And then down here, this is kind of like an airline toilet. You kind of just lift it up, and there you go. Very clean so far. 120 volt outlets next to the sink. And you've got storage up on top for your luggage. This would be your second bunk if you had another person traveling with you. And it looks like we're getting ready to go here. Of course, you would have another person in front of you if you were with somebody. Plenty of coat hooks. We've got a snack bag hanging there. And our attendant did leave a schedule for all the stops if we need it. And they also gave us a alcoholic drink waiver or ticket. So they're gonna be coming around checking tickets soon, and then we'll be on our way out of Boston. All right, so we just met our attendant Steven, and he came by and kind of introduced us to some of the amenities in the room and how to use it. You guys have seen that already. And I believe the cafe car is open for some light stuff for lunch. And we'll actually be, once we're out to Albany, New York, we'll be joining a train up from New York City to continue our journey. That is the car that will have the full dining car and everything else. So we won't have the full amenities until we're out to Albany. But there is a shower in the car, just a few rooms down. I don't think we'll be using that. And yeah, I think we're just gonna enjoy the ride. It seems to be relatively smooth so far, and really looking forward to it. Can remove the mask when you're seated in the room. Out in coach or walking around, you can't go without a mask due to federal mandate on transportation. So we are, I'm going to say probably 15-20 minutes from Framingham at this point. That's the first major stop after Boston. So it goes South Station to Back Bay Station. Those are both in Boston. Not even 5 minutes apart, to be honest. And then to Framingham, Worcester, and Springfield, all in Massachusetts. And then Pittsfield, just before the New York line. I think most videos out there on the Lakeshore Limited start in New York. So we're taking the slightly longer route of Boston to Chicago. And great time for scenery. The leaves are changing, so I'm probably going to start a time lapse on the window here, so you guys can get a look at the wonderful views of the Lakeshore Limited. sure there's people asking why travel by train. I think in the US there's two distinct groups that are going to be traveling on trains nowadays. Those that are in it for the journey and really enjoy the train travel, and then there's others that due to limitations it's just not great to travel on planes. People with medical issues that may be affected by altitude, or people traveling with oxygen or other needs, or maybe be handicapped. Train travel is the better option for them. By no means is it cheaper. It's actually usually a little bit more expensive to travel this way. And of course, it probably takes 5 to 10 times as long as train travel. So, benefits, there's no security. You walk right onto the train. And I'd say it's a much more stress-free method of travel. Airline travel can be fairly stressful for a lot of people. So they may opt for this option. If you've got the time, the vacation time, or you're retired, this is a great way to go. And it's comfortable. You're not crammed into tiny seats in an airplane. So a roomette is one option. This is about the size of a small closet, more or less, with 2 seats, and of course when it goes into a sleeping configuration, it's bunks for 2. There are bedrooms, which I believe sleep 3 or 4. I'd have to double check that, but that's another option as well. That has a private bathroom and shower, whereas in the older Viewliner cars, which is what this is, the roomettes just have the toilet and the sink and the mirror behind me. I'm gonna be honest, I did smell a little bit of septic-y smell when we were first getting ready to go. So by no means is it like traveling on the Orient Express and it's five star first class type stuff. It's just not simply the truth. These are older cars. When we get out west, those are newer cars. They might be a little bit different. In general, same amenities, but I believe they leave out the toilet and the sink. I'll have to confirm once we get out there. But I think I'm just gonna sit back, relax, and enjoy our time. Alright, so now I'm just relaxing, actually watching some YouTube here on my laptop. We get about a little over an hour to go to Springfield, which is our next stop, because we just got through Worcester. We'll be in Albany around 6 p.m. tonight, so I'm sure there'll be dinner after that, because that's when we get our dining car coming up from New York City. I did recline this seat a little bit so I can lean back. I reclined the one in front of me as well so I can put my feet up. So it's actually pretty comfortable in here. So let me see if I can. The lens isn't quite wide enough, but I'll give you guys kind of a shot of what we're working with. Overall, I'm very comfortable. I mean, it might be a closet, but it's a comfortable closet. So I also grabbed like 4 bags, like large bags of trail mix at Walmart last night, because you can buy stuff on the train, but it can get a little pricey. With the roomette, meals are included, and you get the drink voucher as well. So we'll see what they offer for food tonight, but in the meantime I think I'm just fine with the trail mix. Might take a little nap. We'll see how the day goes, but I'm really enjoying it so far, and we're only a little ways into the journey. Alright, so they just gave out dinner appointments, so we're going to be in the dining car at 7:15 tonight, and that is after we leave Albany. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm guessing they'll probably seat me with somebody else, and we'll see what the options are. From what I've seen previously, it may still be more like almost like frozen dinners kind of thing, because of COVID. They have kind of cut back a lot on the fresh stuff, but we'll see. Maybe they've started changing that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to experiencing it. Alright, so we just pulled into Albany here in New York, and this is when our train is going to add some cars. So what we're going to see is that our cars are going to pull forward, and then the cars from New York City are going to hook up on the back of it. So you'll actually see our train pull away, and then the trains will hook up. Alright, so it looks like our New York train has come in. They are approaching behind us here, and we'll hook up. They're just disconnecting the New York City engine. And this engine's going to pull off the side, and then our leg from Boston is going to hook onto the front. So you're going to see our train actually leave the station right now, and they're going to actually hit a switch up ahead and come back and hook up to these cars.
Rightly, Poughkeepsie, Parliament, and Yonkers. Passengers should proceed to track 4.
Alright guys, I hope some of that came out without too much audio getting messed up. But we are back in our roomette. Limited power right now as they get things hooked up, so the fans aren't on, and the toilet is out of service. But we are at, let's see what time it is. 6:53, and we have our dinner at 7:15. Oh, looks like everything just got turned back on. Hearing the fans come on. So we should be on our way soon. And yeah, that was really cool. I'd never seen anything like that before. Kind of fun to experience. Seeing the engines disconnect, and then our train pull out of the station and hook up to the front of the New York City trains. So if you take either leg, the New York City leg or the Boston leg, into Albany, you can witness that too. Just step off the train, and you can watch them do all that. We, after dinner, I think I'm just going to catch some movies. I downloaded a couple, and then we'll be through Ohio and Pennsylvania, and tonight, and then we'll be journeying on into Chicago tomorrow morning for about 9 a.m. So probably sleep through most of the trip. I might see Buffalo tonight. So from Albany you go on to Buffalo, right? Yeah, Albany, Schenectady, Utica, Syracuse, Rochester, and then up to Buffalo. Buffalo is about midnight, so we'll see how we do. But there's not a whole lot to see. It is pretty dark. So, alright, so we just ordered our dinner. We did a glazed salmon, and that comes with stir-fried vegetables and jasmine rice. Also comes with a salad and a brownie. And you get a complimentary alcoholic beverage as part of your room. So we went ahead and did a rum and coke because I wasn't a fan of some of the beer offerings. So looking forward to it. This isn't a little bit of an upgrade from the meals I had seen on previous videos. So maybe they're stepping it up a notch. Alright, so we just got our drink and bread, and I'll turn this around. Alright, so the food just came. I have to say they are really stepping up their game. This looks fantastic. So this is the salmon. Alright guys, now we're back in our room. That was a fantastic dinner, far surpassing anything I expected from a train dinner. Very good quality. There's a lot of it. Fresh roll, salad, everything. I mean, just to see that kind of individual attention to the meal was a fantastic sign. I think during the pandemic they did limit a lot of the food. A lot of the options were more like frozen meals that they just kind of popped in the microwave. So looks like they're making a return, and that was a great meal. I did see all the tables were open. None of them were blocked off, so looks like they're getting past a lot of the COVID restrictions. Masks are still required, of course, when up and about on the train. But other than that, great option. I did see a lot of people working on the train. So the dining car is like 5 cars back from where we are, because we're in the front sleeper car right behind the entrance. But I think train travel would be a very good option for those that work remotely. Yeah, if you wanted to, say, to do a cross-country trip, you could definitely still do a decent amount of work while you're on the train. Unlike air travel, where that's kind of difficult sometimes, depending on the quality of the Wi-Fi on the plane. On occasion, the internet does go out on the train here as well. It's dependent on self-service, I'm sure. So, I mean, video conferences, probably not going to happen. But emails and documents, things like that, I think you can probably get that done just fine. I'm probably going to settle down for the night here, and I'm not sure what time they'll come set up the bed, but the attendant comes, sets up the bed for you, and then you can go to sleep. We'll see you in the morning. Good morning, everyone. It is about 8:15 in the morning. We just got up, got the bed taken down, got dressed. We're currently in northwestern Indiana as we make our way to Chicago. Passed through a lot of the Great Lakes region last night. Of course, we're still on the shores now. We're gonna get going here and go get some breakfast in the dining car. We're expected to Chicago before 10 o'clock this morning. Alright, so we just got our breakfast. We got the 3-egg omelet with roasted potatoes and chicken sausage. Alright, so I have to say it was a decent breakfast for a train. The eggs a little on the hard side, I'd say, because, I mean, more or less it's microwaved food, but it's tasty. Far better than anybody would expect on a moving train. And just like dinner last night, it's very surprising, the quality of the food that we've gotten today, this last train ride. One other thing I'd comment on is there's a lot of people in coach. Like, it makes up 3-4 cars between here and the dining car, plus I'm sure there's more on the other end. For the 20 plus hours that you're doing the Boston to Chicago Lake Shore Limited, it's certainly an option, and it probably would be pretty affordable. Not the most comfortable thing in the world, but I think I could manage if that's the only part of my journey and I'm just getting from point A to point B. It's doable. Meals are not included, so you would have to buy from the cafe car, and cafe car is kind of like hot dogs and pizza and stuff like that. But I'd say certainly doable. You could do that with a hop-on, hop-off pass if you wanted to. So Amtrak offers a 30-day pass where you can basically travel the country if you wanted to, and that's all on coach. So I think not a bad option. So we're just about 20 or so minutes outside of Chicago Union Station here, and I wanted to give a big shout out to our car attendant, Stephen. He is absolutely awesome, and he has been with Amtrak for 34 years, and although this is his current route, he has also done the Empire Builder, the California Zephyr, and many other routes around the country. And I have to say that is quite the career, and an amazing way to see our beautiful country. Alright guys, so we just got off in Chicago Union Station. And my cousin Sean is waiting outside for us, but I wanted to cover a couple little things before we wrap up the video. As far as sleeping on the train, it wasn't bad at all. I might recommend some headphones or earplugs, because the train horn does sound every time there's a crossing. So you're going to hear that echoing all night long. The other thing, I might recommend some good toilet paper. Bring some good toilet paper. They give you some single ply, but sometimes it just doesn't do the job. We'll maybe get some B-roll footage as we walk outside, but we'll end the video here. We'll see you tomorrow. So behind us is the actual Chicago Union Station that most people will recognize. Very ornate building. And of course, Chicago, in the realm of trains, was known as the hub of train activity for the United States at the turn of the last century. It was how you got from east to west. And ultimately played a big part in a lot of people traveling west for the gold rush and transcontinental railroad even earlier than the turn of the last century. So, and of course it still serves as a major hub for Amtrak and other services.